Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. My name is Urosh. Today we're gonna take a look at Sultan+Shepard and their track you already know from their new album Forever Again. And this is probably one of my favorite tracks from the new album. I also love Forever Now and Zima. Zima is funny because it means winter in Slovenian language. But anyways, I hope you liked what I did, and let's just take a look at the whole song, right? So we have the kick. Right, pretty punchy and stuff, right? I also used a bit of a cue here just to make that boxiness go out, right? Also drum bass, right? Then we have a bass line, which I used the Serum preset called bass sustain. It's pretty simple. It's just two saw waves and envelope 2 controlling the filter cutoff, and it sounds like this. In the original song, probably Diva or something, but yeah, basically bass usually plays the lowest note of the chord. So we have B flat, then we have E flat, then we have F sharp, and then A flat or G sharp, right? We're in the key of C sharp major, right, or G flat major, right? So yeah, the chords of this track would be let me just open up the like this so you can see what I'm playing. Basically, the chords would be, we would start on B flat minor, right, which is the 7th chord, right? This is the 7th chord of the C sharp major scale, right? The 7th chord, right? I mean, I'm really sorry about it. It's actually the 6th chord. It's actually the 6th chord, because there would be a diminished chord. It would be the 7th chord, right? So the 6th chord, right? The 6th minor chord. Then we're going down to a 2nd chord, right? Second minor chord, right? Which is E flat minor. Then we're going up to the fourth chord, which would be F sharp major, but in this case we're making it a sustain, not sustain, a suspended, right? This chord, going up to a G sharp major, right? So the whole progression again without interruption. Right? So those are our chords. They're basically repeating throughout the sketch I did. And yeah, we also have this piano riff, right? Which is happening in the beginning. And I used Lab's Spitfire piano, soft piano for this. Also added some ODT and some Valhalla shimmer. And the pattern looks like this. So it's also one thing to point out, these are triplets, right? Not 16 notes, but triplets. So yeah, let me just play it for you. Pardon me. So what is the key to getting this kind of sound, which also happened when we consolidated, is the sustain pedal, right? So this is something I use on the piano. Every time I press a new chord or something, I put the pedal down and then up, right? And if you would have this without the pedal, it's gonna sound pretty shitty. Right? Let me just take the reverb off. Right, it sounds kind of wacky. I put the reverb back on. Also this without the reverb. Right, it sounds way better, right? So use that pedal sustain, and also without the OTT. We can actually take a look at the EQ. So what is happening when I turn off the OTT? We get these harmonics here. We get some harmonics here, right, which haven't been before. Makes it a bit more richer and brighter in general, right? Okay, we also have the pads, drone pads over here. I used Omnisphere for this. Also again using OTT and Panman. Right? I don't know what the preset is, but it's basically just a steady C sharp major drone without the third, obviously, right? Right? So just a power chord. In the second half we get the air also, right? Playing just a C sharp, another drone, which is kind of a bit more bigger, right? More notes, like one note more, this one. So just first pad, second pad, third pad. Right, so those are our pads. And the second part, we also get this pad, which is made from Diva. And I don't know, I heard something like this in the original. Maybe it's not entirely the same, but I also took some creative liberty. But yeah, basically again, they're playing like the tonic and the fifth. In most cases, it's, you know, it's not really like here it doesn't, right? But still. Take a look at the groove. We have some really simple hats here. I am using the triplet here again, right? So you can see these are triplets, and we're getting like this sprinkly stuff here in the, you know, almost before the end. Right, so basically that's basically basically what's happening. We also have a hat fill here, which is really subtle, but after I listened to the original a couple of times, I realized there's a hat fill there. So I was like, what the hell? So we get like this fill, right? Which is like, okay, whatever, bro. Right? But it is there in the original, I'm pretty sure. We also have this clap. I think in the original there's a combination of a clap and snare. I only use the snare one, this one. Then we also have some effects. Obviously, pardon me, we get the sweep, right, which is like just a sweep, I guess. Like what I did is I used like this flanger, so without the phaser flanger it's gonna sound totally different. Right, so that phaser flanger, I think like in the original the effects was something like that, more kind of flangy, phasey stuff. Anyways, we have the perk. Using some delay. We also have this clap long effects, which we have a long reverb tail on it, and it's just basically just a fill, just one note before the actual, next section. Okay, so those are for the claps. What else? Oh yeah, we have the snare roll here, which is pretty simple. What is interesting is it doesn't happen actually, right before the drop, but it leaves some space for the vocal to come in, right? So. Like what I did here, I used the vocoder, so without the vocoder. Also, I used the clipper just to get rid of the, the stuff on top, which I don't really need. We have some vocal effects, which I took, just creative liberty by Splice. I think they're all from Splice. Right, and then also this. Also, I use like this three effects on it, and also an EQ. So without the EQ, I think it's super bright, right? So I cut off the high stuff, but it's important, and some little altar boy delay. So yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, and obviously we have the ARP, right, which is like the most important stuff. And actually the ARP is actually doubling the piano riff from the beginning, right? So we have the same set of notes. Obviously we want to put that sustain off, right, which we had in the piano riff. We want to put that off because otherwise the synth's gonna go crazy. I also made this in Serum. 2 saw waves. One is detuned a bit. Let me see what is happening. We are also automating the detune and the fine knob here, and I think we have some noise on it as well, and some obvious effects like reverb, delay, chorus, and stuff like that. And what we're doing is we're automating the filter cutoff, and you can see the basically the line, how it goes. What is really interesting is, and I noticed this in a lot of This Never Happened tracks, is basically when the vocals come in, they are cutting off the ARP, right? So, which really makes sense because you want to make room for the vocals, right? So if you have an ARP, you can just hide it basically, still use it in the background, because if you're just gonna completely delete it, you may lack that movement that was there before. But anyway, let's just listen to the ARP. obviously the vocals are from the original, so I haven't really done anything to them. So yeah, hope you like this tutorial. Like Sultan+Shepard are like one of my favorite artists from This Never Happened. So we have the Youth, Leonid, Sultan+Shepard, and Ocula. I think those are like my favorites. So yeah, hope you like this tutorial and talk to you soon, guys. Smash the like button and sayonara, guys.